Hello and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I'm James Lott Jr. It's two T's, folks, for you those out there. A lot of help.com. As you know on this show, we're about health and wellness, mental, physical, and everything in between. And so my guest has a book out. If you're watching, you can see it behind her. It's called Fabulous Health, the simple plan to get well and stay well. But let me just tell you, in her book, she does say this. I am not a medical doctor. However, she is a university qualified nutritionist with a master's degree in nutrition. So she's somebody. She's a board certified diplomat of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. So she knows what she's talking about. We're going to talk about her way of getting fabulously healthy and the book and all of that. Help me welcome Terri Chrisman. Hi, Terri.
Yeah. Hi, James. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited.
It's my pleasure. So I love the way your book is set out. I want people to know this, that her book is very intentional. And I can tell by how you said, I'm going to ask you about that in a second, but it's very intentional. She tells her story. She asks kind of, what do you want? She has her 6 pillars of healthy lifestyle, what diseases can help. And she really each chapter is very specific. Also, what I like about your book, there's a lot of chapters, kids. It's a nice sized book.
26 chapters.
Yeah, I know. But this is good. She has the disclaimer, but she also tells you who this book is for, which I feel is for just about anybody. Who this book is not, kind of, right? She kind of tells you that in there too. And she kind of she lays it out for you. To me, I like it because it's very straightforward. And for folks out there, it's not hoity-toity or just fancy big giant words. She's saying, here's the deal, and she explains things very easily that anybody can understand. So first of all, congratulations. First of all, it's Harry on the book. When I said the book was intentional, am I correct? Was it intentional?
Oh, absolutely, James. I wanted it to be a one-stop shop. I wanted people to be able to pick up the book, go from page 1 to page 300 and learn action steps along the way in a specific order so that they could change their life for the better. And I did start it off by telling people who the book's not for. It's not for you if you want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks and then go back to eating your old habits, right? It's not for you if you want to keep eating the way you are and miraculously wake up and be healthier and thinner. It's just not going to happen. When we talk about lifestyle change, there is work to be done. I'm really sorry. I would love for people to read my book and then go to sleep and wake up and be 20 pounds lighter. That is just not going to happen. When you want to change your lifestyle, you have to look at what you're doing now, identify the things that are helping you and keep doing more of those, identify the things that are not helping you and work out ways to change those that you can do incrementally and you can keep doing them so that over time you end up healthier. It's not like, magic. It's not magic. I wish it was magic. Yeah. And then I wouldn't have to write the book.
Right. And you also kept it simple. That's the plan.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the plan, right? Who wants complex? Not me. And I've got to tell you, I'm a scientist and I read a lot of scientific studies. And sometimes my brain is scrambled from reading these scientific studies. But my job was to take that science and make it easy to understand so that it's relevant for you, so that you go, oh, if I keep eating those sausages, my arteries are going to clog up and I'm going to end up with heart disease, possibly, right? I'm at a greater risk of heart disease. But if I swap the sausages for maybe plant-based sausages, I can still have sausages, but they're not going to clog up my arteries. So I tried to make everything as simple and easy to comprehend, but also give people the why. So if I just said to you, James, and I don't even know if you eat sausages, but if I said to anybody, hey, you know what, if you keep eating those pork sausages, they're gonna clog up your arteries and you're going to be at more risk of heart disease or whatever. No, sorry, let me take that back. If I just said to you, stop eating those pork sausages and eat these plant ones, you're going to go, like, why? Right? Why would I do that? I love these pork sausages. They're delicious and I have them on my breakfast or in my lunch or whatever. But if I said to you, hey, they're clogging your arteries with saturated fat, you'd be like, oh, are they? I didn't know that. What do you mean? There's sausages out there that don't clog my arteries with saturated fat and they still taste pretty good. I might do that. So that's why I included the science. So people, no one's going to change just because I say, hey, don't eat that, eat this. That's just a waste of time, right? You've got to say to people, this is the science behind it. Take it with a grain of salt or not, do or not do. But I need you to know so that you are informed. And a lot of Americans and people in Australia and Canada and the UK and all the Western world, they're not informed. And they don't know. And they get sold this bill of lies from food companies and Instagram influencers and anybody who, wants to get up in front of YouTube and say whatever they say without any scientific basis. And people are confused and they go down paths and then they wake up one morning and they got diabetes. And they're like, what? Like, how did that happen?
I'll tell you, you mentioned sausages. I do like sausages. No, here's funny. A few years ago, we have a food chain called Trader Joe's.
I love Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay. I know you do. Okay, so we have Trader Joe's. So they actually have a brand of sausage, and they're in a box. They're frozen, but they're plant-based. They're really good. And I remember getting them a few years ago because somebody told me, James, seriously, try one. They're good. And I did. I was like, oh. So my partner at the time, I was like, who was very much a meat eater. They was like, I said, well, let's just try this. I said, I'm making some eggs and I'm going to do this. I'm going to, whatever. Tried it and actually liked it. And so because I didn't present it in a way that was just like, you guys have to eat this now. And then like you feel like defensive and then your taste buds close up. I was like, why don't we just try this today and see what you think? And they liked it. And so it was like, wow, I like your approach. That's the approach. It's like, and even if you don't change it every single time, like you said, maybe at first, every other time you have sausages, it's that kind, right?
Yeah, that is such a good step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
So most people don't have nutrition degrees. Most people are not really interested in studying nutrition science. They just want to buy food that tastes yummy, put it on their plate and eat it, right? That's all that, who wants to get their head full of information that's unnecessary when their lives are so busy with other stuff? So the idea is to introduce things to people because they taste nice. And the benefit is, well, it's not going to kill you. So that's good.
Well, I mean, like his girlfriend back in the late 80s, I was in my new age years. We're around the same age. I was a young adult trying to eat healthier, and tofu came out. And so they're making tofu pizzas and stuff, and they're disgusting back then. It did not taste good at all. And I'm like trying to convince people, well, it's better for you, and I'm going myself. So I have to agree with you. I think for most people, there's a taste factor, isn't there? It has to be. But there are a lot of things that do taste good with the right seasoning, and some of these things you can actually doctor up the same, just not with the processed crap, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, my book's not a cookbook. It has 31 recipes in it. They're all very, very basic recipes, and it's a really good starting point. And there are so many, healthy plant-based cookbooks out there on the market. I'm not competing with those people. Those people are awesome.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is educate people about what is happening to them from the outside. So what the food companies are doing without your knowledge, what the supermarkets are doing without your knowledge, and how you can become more aware. So, for example, you go to the supermarket, you've got your shopping list or whatever, even if you don't. A lot of people don't even have a shopping list. They just go to the supermarket and randomly buy things that look good, or things that are on sale. And, of course, all the stuff that's on sale is at the front of the supermarket, 2 for 1 or whatever, and it's all garbage, right? There's never any, broccoli 2 for 1. But you go into the supermarket and you're in another world. You just listen to the do music, and you're pushing your little cart around, and I'll have that, and I'll have that, and I'll have that. And my husband goes shopping, and he'll come back and he'll say, oh, I bought this thing. It's plant-based. You'll love it. And the first thing I do is this. turn over the back of the packet, right? Because the front of the packet looks gorgeous and it says
Right.
plant protein and high fiber and, or, you know, gluten free or whatever, right? So this is all these crazy things. And I get on the back and I'm just like, dude, this is full of coconut oil and it's full of saturated fat. That's going to clog your arteries. It's in the bin. I'm not like that, really that nasty, because I don't want to hurt his feelings because he tried really hard. But most people, they look at the front of the packet, they don't turn it over. And even if they did turn it over, James, they are going to be so confused about what is going on the back of that packet. They won't even know what half those ingredients are. They won't even know how to comprehend how much saturated fat is in it or not, because the percentages all lie. In my book, I actually teach you how to read nutrition labels so that you don't get waylaid and you don't get stooged by these nutrition labels from product companies. And before everybody writes in and says, this is a lot of malarkey because the government protects us from all that stuff. And I'm not having a go at the USDA because the Food Standards Authority in Australia does it as well. There are rules and regulations about what you can and cannot put on a food label, and the way you calculate things like saturated fat and carbohydrates and sugar and things like that. There's a formula that the average Joe does not know, but don't worry, I teach you it in the book and tell you how to decipher it. And so a food company making any food will make it sound as good as humanly possible. So on the front, they're not lying when they say, 10 grams of plant protein. They're just, they're just eliminating the fact that it's full of coconut oil, and coconut oil is full of saturated fat, and saturated fat clogs your arteries and gives you heart attacks, right? So they're not lying. And then when you look on the back and it says it's got 5 grams of fat, you think that's nothing, right? But the total calories is only 60 calories. Well, 5 grams of fat is 45 calories. So 45 out of 60 is like 3/4. So it's 75% fat. And you're thinking, oh, it's only 5 grams of fat. And that's the case with a lot of things like coconut yogurt and things like that. You think, I'm going to go coconut yogurt because dairy gives me tummy ache, or, I heard that dairy is related to getting prostate cancer or breast cancer, or I heard that the dairy farmers are nasty to the cows. I don't want to hurt the cows. Whatever your reason for going dairy free is, and you go and get this coconut yogurt thinking, the little angel wings are growing out of your back and the little halos coming on, and you're thinking, I'm just doing things for the planet and it's fabulous. And then you realize you put on 20 pounds because you've eaten all this coconut yogurt, and you go to the doctor and your cholesterol's high and you're like, hang on a minute, how did that happen? So I try to teach people all the tricks that people are playing on them. And when I say people, companies are playing on them, so that you can be aware. And when you're aware, you can make choices to help yourself. When you're unaware, when you don't know, how are you gonna make choices to help yourself? You just can't. It's impossible.
I learned from your book, speaking of how to read things, sugars. This is what I learned, folks, and I learned it from her book. She's right. The front, they're not lying to you. They're saying, not out and out lying to you. They're saying low sugar or no sugar. When you turn it over, I learned about sugar alcohol. Is that a form of sugar of some sort? It's something that's still not good for you, right?
Okay, so I used to love sugar alcohol. I used to think sugar alcohol is awesome. Like it's made, like xylitol, for example, is a sugar alcohol, and they put it in chewing gum, and they put it in yogurt, and they put it in other things. And it comes from the bark of birch trees. So here's me going, okay, it's natural. It's not chemical. It's made from the bark of birch trees, and it's got no calories. Right. And you can buy it crystallized like sugar. So if you're making a cake, you can just shove it in. It is cold, though, which is really weird. So when you make, say, a cookie or a cake with xylitol and you bite it, it's cold, like it's been in the fridge, even though it hasn't been in the fridge. It's quite weird. But there's 2 bad things about xylitol. Number one, it'll kill your dog in an instant. So if you have a dog at home, you never want to give your dog any cookies or cakes or anything with xylitol in them. And in fact, if you keep it in your cupboard, you want to put it high up so that your dog doesn't accidentally eat it. Number two, it'll upset your gut and it'll upset the intestinal lining of your gut. So you may have heard people talk about leaky gut syndrome. That's when, like, I'll try and do a little demonstration. Pretend this is a cell and this is another cell, and this is the barrier to your gut between your intestines and your bloodstream. Well, what happens is with leaky gut is these little cells open up like this. And then molecules can get in between, big molecules that otherwise couldn't permeate the gut barrier, right? So big molecules, they bounce off, they go through your colon, you pull them out, whatever, right? But little itty bitty molecules can get into the bloodstream, and then they could be good molecules, right? They could be phytonutrients, they could be vitamins and minerals and all the good things that you want. But when molecules that are not supposed to permeate the gut bacteria, the gut barrier, get into your gut, that's when you get this thing called leaky gut. Then you start getting IBS symptoms. Then you might start getting diarrhea and constipation. And then you go into the doctor and the doctor's putting you on medication.
Right.
And then it's like, woo, a downward spiral of unhealth, right? Is unhealth a word? Probably not. I'm a scientist, and I don't even know if unhealth
I got
is a word.
degrees too, but who cares? We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it a word today. Unhealthy.
Right, unhealth. You become unhealthy, and you go, well, how did that happen? I was doing all the right things. So there's certain compounds that I just wouldn't eat anymore. One of them is maltodextrin. Does the same thing. Maltodextrin is a modified starch. It is in everything.
Yes.
Oh, gums, xanthan gum, guar gum, don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just in everything. And you know what, James? You and I are of the age where if we wanted, just say we were 10 years old, right? And our mum didn't have time to bake us a birthday cake. So they went down to the supermarket and they bought a birthday cake at the supermarket. Well, number one, that cake would have been made by some baker in the back of the supermarket, right? He was sitting in there baking the cake, and he would have put in that cake flour, eggs, sugar, milk, some frosting, butter, frosting, right? Okay, I don't love those ingredients, but they're real food ingredients, right? Now you go to buy a cake at the supermarket for your 10-year-old for their birthday. It doesn't get made in-house. It gets made at a factory downtown or wherever, in another state, whatever. Yes. And when you turn the cake upside down, which you're never going to do because you're going to upset the cake, right? You're never going to turn a cake upside down before you buy it.
Right, exactly.
And there's the label. James, the label is this long and the font is 6-point, which means there's 756 ingredients in there. And you read them and you're like, isn't there just supposed to be like flour and eggs and butter and
milk or whatever? Yeah.
Like what? And so that's why people are getting sick.
Yeah.
Because it's just naivety, and it's not anybody's fault. Yeah. And I think what happens is people our age and younger, maybe they don't go to the doctor, but let's assume we go to the doctor feeling okay, get our once a year blood test, which I recommend everybody gets, regardless of the result. Don't be scared, just go. They go to the doctor and the doctor says, well, and a doctor would not say this, but let's assume they did. Well, you're 30 pounds overweight. No doctor in their right mind would tell you you're overweight. I'd like to think that they would, but a lot of them do not because they're scared. You're overweight and your cholesterol is too high. Doctors are going to say that. Your HbA1c, which is an indication of your glucose control over the last 3 months, that's through the roof, which means you're pre-diabetic. And your blood pressure's going crazy, and that's why you're so stressed, and that's why you're flushed. And, dude, you're on your way to an early grave. And people go, what do you mean? I haven't changed anything. Right. I've always eaten like this. I'm a healthy person. I'm doing all the right things, and it's a big shock.
Yeah,
it's because people just don't know. And look, that was a worst case scenario, right? I'm sure. I hope that your listeners and watchers don't go to the doctor and get that bad news, because that's terrible news. And I'll also caveat that good doctors will tell you if you're overweight and that you need to lose weight. They really will, because it shouldn't be a stigma.
Right.
Obesity is a risk factor for so many other diseases.
Right.
And conversely, if you lose weight, not all of it, just if you lose some weight, your risk of other diseases like your diabetes, your heart disease, your rheumatoid arthritis, all the things goes down dramatically just by losing weight and not doing anything else. So that's why everybody's going crazy for these weight loss meds, because not only are they looking better and they feel better, their risk of the other diseases goes down. Now, I don't want to discuss weight loss meds because I'm not a GP, as you know, and GP meaning general practitioner. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't really discuss those. But I'm not anti-medicine. I am pro doing it yourself until you can't. So, for example, you get the book, you read the book, you do all the things, you lose 30 pounds, you feel fantastic, and you go to the doctor and the doctor says, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well, but your cholesterol's still a little high. So I think we're going to, even though you did all those good things, we're still going to have to put you on medicine. That's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely okay. But the important thing is that what you've done is you may be on cholesterol meds, but now you're not on metformin and you're not on ACE inhibitors for your blood pressure, and all the pain in my knees gone away, and I can sleep well, and I don't have a bad back, and I'm not a grumpy bastard to my spouse or whatever. All these things are good things, right, because you started taking care of your health. And I don't mean you personally. I mean, right, you, the universe. You, the universe. And I'd like to encourage everybody to take their health seriously and take the responsibility for their own health first. And then use the doctor and say, listen, I've done all these awesome things. How am I doing? And the doctor will say, well, you're doing great, but, and that's okay.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question because actually you are from my time period, but you're also a scientist. So I'm a food scientist and nutritionist. Was food, okay, how am I ask this question? Is food being made worse today than when we were kids, or is that just a myth?
No, absolutely. It's 100% true. So let's look at an unhealthy food, Coca-Cola. Okay. It used to be made out of sugar, yeah, and water and their secret, flavorings. Now it's made out of high fructose corn syrup. And high fructose corn syrup is dreadful because it gets processed through the liver. And the liver cannot handle that. And it leads to fatty liver disease. It leads to diabetes. It's terrible, terrible thing to eat. And it's in all your sugar-sweetened beverages. It's in all your fizzy drinks, sodas. It's in, what did we buy the other day that had it in it? And I said to my husband, there's no way I'm eating that. Oh, we bought a Ninja Creamy machine. Have you heard of this machine?
No, I have Ninja products, but I never heard of that.
Right. Okay. So I'm not an ice cream person. I must be an alien because I've never been interested in ice cream.
What?
Ever. I don't mind a bit of gelato as long as it's fruity. Yeah, I know. I'm a crazy lady. Anyway, so my husband, he loves ice cream, but he doesn't eat ice cream because he knows it's bad for him. And so he saw this Ninja Creamy on Amazon or whatever. He bought this thing and it makes a soft serve.
Oh.
And so in the recipe book, it's got plant-based versions. So we put the oat milk in and, that we had to use coconut cream because it's, otherwise it doesn't solidify.
Right.
And anyway, so I made him this little soft serve. It was like a vanilla soft serve. And he went and got some chocolate sauce from the supermarket. And it was all high fructose corn syrup. It wasn't even sugar. And I was just like, dude, do not eat that stuff. It is so bad for you. But the good thing also about the Ninja Creamy is you don't have to put in the coconut cream, what we did too, James, is we bought a can of pears in natural juice. So no added sugar, just pears and pear juice. I think maybe grape juice, I think they put in. And then you just throw that in the little container in the freezer and you put it in the machine and it whizzes it up and it turns it into the most delicious sorbet. And it's one ingredient, pears. Now, you could eat a pear or you could have ice cream that was made from pears. Who cares, right? So you don't need to miss out on all the yummy things like the frozen-y thing. And a lot of stuff about eating is emotional.
Yes.
So if I said to you, James, listen, you're never allowed to eat ice cream again. Instead, I'm going to give you a pear. You'd just be like, oh, what?
Right.
Like, seriously? No, there's no comparison. But if I made you a frosty, delicious, cold, frozen dessert that tasted gorgeous and gave you that ice cream feeling, I would even make it soft serve and stick it in a cone for you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, I mean ice cream. Even though you're not eating the bad, unhealthy ice cream, you're eating something that's good for you. No one says you have to miss out. You just have to change the way you think about things and try and make the stuff that you eat as healthy as possible. And if you do that, you'll lose weight, your blood pressure will come down, your cholesterol will come down, your glucose control will improve, and you won't, like for me, I call that not even trying.
Yeah.
It's like trying new things and just swapping out the stuff that you like for healthier versions, and the magic does happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I want people to do. I want them to not think about, oh, I've got to lower my cholesterol, I've got to lower my blood pressure, oh, I've got to lose 20 pounds, I've got to, whatever it is, just start swapping out the stuff that you know is unhealthy. And if you don't know what it is, don't worry, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
Swap it out for stuff that is healthy, and then magically you'll wake up in 6 months or something and you'll stand on the scale and you'll be like, oh, my God, I've lost 30 pounds. How did that happen?
I know somebody who's doing this and then losing weight, and I'm on my own weight loss journey too, where I've changed my, little by little, like just doing little things like not having the heavy orange juice, get the orange juice light, and then at some point I'll get used to that, then I'll get to where I even do lighter than that, where it's mostly water. Like I just want the taste, so I'm learning how to change my taste buds a little bit. Look, you can't always do it cold turkey. I mean, I think that's not saying you're saying that, but I just want people to know sometimes it takes time. But her book,
it does
the plan. So, like she said, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do use that analogy because I did run a marathon, and that was damn hard, right?
I did one too, so I know it's hard. It was one of the most rewarding things I ever did. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, but wasn't it the most fantastic thing? Did you do this thing, James? I want to ask you this question. So you're doing the training and it's hard and you hate it, but you love it, and you hate it and you love it. And then you do the marathon and you think you're going to die. Yes. And you think, I'm never doing that again, until you wake up the next morning and then you sign up for another one. Did you?
I've done 3. I did 3 in 2-year period.
Yeah, good for you.
I got hooked.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? It's like a drug.
Yeah, so the first one I did was San Francisco. This is a healthy.
Oh, me too. I did San Francisco. Hey, did you do the one where they let you run over the bridge?
No. I'm looking at my plaques right now going, no, it wasn't that year. So I did them in 2010, 2011, 2012. Those are 3 years.
Okay.
Marathons. I did 2 in San Francisco, 1 in LA.
Right. So I did the San Francisco Marathon in 2012, I think. Oh, hang on. There it is right there.
Yeah, no, mine's right there.
I think it was 2012. Yeah, I've got my thing over there.
So you did yours after mine. I did LA 2012. Yes.
Yeah, and they let us run over the bridge, and they don't let you do that anymore.
And when I did it, we started at Golden Gate Park, went out, did a whole Western Edition.
Yeah.
And then we passed my house. I used to live in San Francisco, so we were into Bo's Triangle, going that way, all the way down there. Then we went to South of Market. Then came and then you ended in Embarcadero, folks. That's where you end.
Yeah. It's a great run.
No, it's a great run. Actually,
and there's hills, right? So.
Yes. But no, so here's the thing. So this is health and wellness. and we have this in common. So, folks, for me, when I'll ask what you got. For me, I signed up for a pacer. I said, okay, because I was in my 40s when I did it. And well, I
Me
guess,
too.
yeah, I guess so, you too. So I was like, I'm going to see what, because my partner who did it, she was in her 30s. She's 10 years younger than me. And she had done many of them. She was like, Jay, you should try it. It's fun. I'm like, she made it so exciting. It's okay. But she goes, get a pacer. And you can always outpace your pacer, but it's almost like they teach you how the right way to run,
Yeah.
unclench your butt cheeks, all that kind of stuff. And then you have at least somebody, for me, when I saw the pacer in front of me, that kept me kind of going, like, okay, the pacer's down there, but I'm not that far behind. But it's such a metaphor for like you're teaching people step by step. You can't just run marathon tomorrow. You have to take steps, right, to get this. So for you,
Yeah.
you got a trainer too and stuff, right? You probably had a trainer also, didn't you?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I had a trainer. I was living in Australia when I was running my marathons, and I had a trainer in LA, and I flew to LA so that he could do some testing on me and find out what my basal metabolic rate was and how much. Like I was a sport. My undergrad was sports science, right? So I'm getting into this like really deep. And he found out how much oxygen I was using and how many calories per second I was burning and all that kind of stuff. And then I ran in Australia. So I was hardcore into the science of it. But yeah, the thing is, if you don't start from zero and incrementally, like if you day one you're going to run like a mile, right? Who cares?
Right.
That's it. Day two you might have the day off, and then day three you might run a mile and a half, whatever, and eventually you get to the point where you're running about a week or two beforehand, you're running 20 miles, and that's like, it scares the bejesus out of you, right? So but you do it anyway. And without that plan, I can categorically tell you, even though I had a degree in sports science and I was a personal trainer, there is no possible way that I would have finished that marathon, because I needed help from somebody else who'd done it before, who knew what they were doing. And they told me on day one, do this, on day two, do that. And it didn't matter, James. You wake up and you go, I don't want to run today. I really want to have a day off. But the plan says, no, I'm sorry, you're going out for 12 miles.
Yes,
And
so
you just
true.
put your shoes on and
Yep.
you just do it. And that is the only way you can get to the marathon, because the marathon's on a certain day, right? So you can't like skip a day of training or 2 days or 3 days or 2 weeks, because by the time the marathon comes, you're not going to be ready. And the whole point of a marathon training plan is that it makes you at your peak on the day of the marathon. Well, with health, there's no end date except for death, right? So we don't want that. But what we want to do is we want to try and make steps every single day. And if we fall off the wagon and we go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and we eat all the fried bull dust and we drink all that alcohol, we don't beat ourselves up and say, I'm useless, I can't do it anymore. We say, well, that was yummy, except I've got a tummy ache and diarrhea now. But tomorrow, I'm going to have oatmeal for breakfast. I'm going to have vegetables. I'm going to have a salad. I'm going to make something healthy. And I'm going to do some exercise, and I'm going to forget about yesterday, and I'm going to keep going. And that's what it's all about. Our life, we have to make it so that it's enjoyable, it's doable, and we can make it sustainable. So you don't have to be 100% every single day. Look, the 100% is in the book, right? How much you do of that is your choice. And whatever you do, you are a reflection of your past actions.
Yeah.
So you running that marathon is a reflection of all the hard work that you put in the 6 months prior. And your health today is a reflection of what you've been doing the 6 month prior, the 2 years prior, the 20 years prior. Now, if you're starting on your health journey, you might be a little bit discouraged because, hey, I still am the same weight, or I'm doing all the right things and I'm not losing weight or whatever. That's why we go to the doctor every few months when we're on a health kick, so that we can take our bloods and see our parameters. And maybe 3 months at the earliest, we go back and we have our bloods taken again. And you may not have lost any weight. You may have lost 2 pounds and thought, God, 12 weeks, 2 pounds, that's nothing.
Right.
And then your doctor looks at your blood tests and says, holy cow, you are awesome.
Mhm.
Because weight loss is not the only parameter.
No.
There's so much going on in a human body. What we do is we focus on the external. We focus on the jeans fitting. We focus on, the double chins or, the clothes or whatever. And then we forget about all the other things. Like if you have been following my program for, say, 12 weeks and you tell me, oh, Terri, I only lost 2 pounds. I feel so useless. It's just not, I said, I'll say to you, how are your joints? How do you feel? How's your stiffness? How's your mood? Are you sleeping at night? Do you fall asleep easily? Can you walk around the block twice when you used to only be able to walk around the block once?
Right.
Are you do you have a happier mood? And all these things are indicators of greater health. So look, everybody wants to focus on weight loss.
Yes.
I've been trying to lose weight my entire life. Sometimes I lose weight, sometimes I don't.
Yep.
But right now, I know I have been lighter, but James, I have never been happier and healthier. I feel fantastic because I'm doing all the things, and I'm doing all the things all the time.
Yeah.
And you have no control of the outcome.
Right.
So you have no control of how much weight you lose, how much your blood pressure gets lowered, how much any of the outcome measures have. You only have control about the actions that you take on a daily basis. So you can choose to do some exercise today. You can choose to lower your stress levels by leaving a situation that is causing you stress. I'm talking like an immediate situation, like somebody pissing you off. Am I allowed to say that?
Yep.
And you can turn around and walk away. You have the choice to choose a healthy meal. And if you do that consistently, everything else is going to fall into place. It's like saving money, right? If you save $1 a day,
right,
at the end of the day, you're going to have $365.
Right.
It's just like it's math. In fact, you might even have 366 because you might have got some interest, whatever. Right. You just keep making those deposits every single day. And then miraculously, oh, my bank balance is big. How did that happen?
Yeah, no, I everything you say I agree with because I've seen it happen. I mean, yeah, I'm always on weight loss journeys here and there, and it's I've had times in my life where it's got really rough, so I wasn't paying attention as much. Now I'm paying attention. I'm back to me again. And I know there's no shame, folks. I mean, life happens. Things happen. I was a caregiver for a parent that died. So it's like you're not focusing on yourself. You're focusing on them. But then,
yes.
Luckily, if you're still alive, you can come back to you. That's what's so great. You always have a chance to come back to you. And her book is tied into the book. You should have her book on your shelf. You say, okay, what does Terri say about this? And you can go in there and go, okay, I think I'm going to follow her plan and start this. And that's kind of the great thing because you don't want somebody caregiving you if they don't have to. You can help avoid that yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you've lost a parent. I've lost a parent. It's hard and it's horrible. And the whole point of writing this book is because I don't want people to lose parents or themselves or their kids or anybody they love or their friends from something that is largely avoidable. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say that all these things are 100% avoidable. There are genetic components to some things, but I have a genetic propensity for heart disease, and yet I am keeping that at bay by living a healthy lifestyle. My dad died when he was 51. I absolutely believe that if I didn't look after my health, I'd be dead by now.
And my father had a heart attack in his early 40s.
Yeah. That's hard.
So, that's early. His lifestyle, I can see why, but that's the whole point. Like you said, your book, you talk about that, and you can read this. You can read. She tells her story, folks, at the beginning of the book. But yeah, with him, he actually had 2 in a row, and it was just like, okay, folks, obviously you're not living well. And a lot of us just really think, well, I'm not sick. I'm okay. I'm overweight or I'm this or I'm jittery or whatever, but I'm okay. I'm still functioning. I still go to work.
Yeah.
I used to go out, go out and watch a movie, and like you could die in a movie theater, you could die at
Yeah.
sleep, or you could have a heart attack right there. Like you have to understand that these things are on set. They're
Mm.
on set. They're not. I'm from a nurse, so I know that part of it. It's like these are on set things that can happen. And what Terri is trying to tell you is like let's narrow down that possibility. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, they're warning signs. Like if you have, my dad had angina and he thought it was heartburn.
Right.
He thought he couldn't eat cucumbers when in fact he was having, and for people who don't know what angina is, that's when you are getting blood to the heart, but the arteries in the heart are a little bit occluded, a little bit blocked. So the blood is kind of getting there, but not quite, right? So the heart is not getting enough oxygen, because that's what blood does. It carries the oxygen to the heart, and the heart needs the oxygen to work. And so it hurts. The heart says, oh, dude, and so that's why people have this thing called exercise onset angina, which is when they start to exercise, all of a sudden they get chest pains. Well, that is a warning flag. That's a red flag that your arteries have got some goop in them. And your heart is saying, please give me more blood, give me more blood. And your arteries are like, I'm not expanding to give you more blood. I'm all clogged up with goop. So if you have these symptoms, or you get out of breath really, really quickly and you need to sit down or whatever it is, this is a warning sign that you not need to stop and sit down and not do the thing like, oh, okay, I can't play baseball with my kids, or I can't walk the dog because it hurts. No, you got to change your life. Yeah. and if you don't know how to change your life, you don't know what to do, then the book is there for you to help you do that.
That is. I'd tell you, it's a great book, folks, and I recommend it because it's, to me, a down to earth book.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's just it's just cool. The book is cool. It's a great guide. Sometimes we need a guide. I'm telling you. So if you don't want to hire a personal nutritionist, you have it right there in Terri Chrisman, right there in her book. She's your personal nutritionist in the book.
Yeah, I did that on purpose, actually, because I found that a lot of people couldn't afford me. Right. And I wanted to help as many people as absolutely possible. If I'm charging over $1,000 for a course, which I did because you were getting one-on-one training with me, a lot of people said, I just don't have that money. Yeah. And I thought, well, you know what? I want to help so many more people. There's only so many hours in the day, right? If I'm doing one-on-one with people and I'm spending an hour with them, how many of those can I do a day? I'm not doing 8 of those because I've got a life, right? It's too much. So I can only do so many people. Yeah. And I really wanted everybody to have the information, and they can do it at their own pace. Yeah. And they can read it, take it away, try it. And look, I'm always here. I'm not saying I don't do those big courses anymore. For people, I offer like a one-off tune-up, right? So I say to people, you've read the book, you've tried the things, and things are not working for you, or maybe you need some advice. I'll give you an hour of my time. It's a lot less expensive, and then we can troubleshoot all the points on your list, yeah? And so you come and you say, I've got this, and this. Fix this for me, and then that's done, and then you can go off and you live your life. And I'll see you again in a few months if you want to, but it's not a great investment. So that's why I wrote the book. I can help so many more people at once. And for those who do want individualized help from me, I'm still here. I'm not saying no, I'm not going to help you. I'm just saying here's the first step. Come and get the book and learn at a really low price. Like, what's the book? $25 or something.
Yeah. And is the book out yet?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a bestseller on Amazon in 4 countries and 10 categories. I'm very excited about that. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on, if you live in America and you're watching this, you can get it on my website, and I will personally sign you a copy. I have a box of books here with me, and I will sign you a copy. So, but that's only for people in America, because unfortunately the postage to other countries is it's so cost prohibitive. It's ridiculous, right? So, and also, I'll be honest with you, James, I couldn't work out how to do that on the website, to put the $40 postage to France and the $27 postage to Australia. I just like, that's too hard. I don't know how to do it. I made my own website. I didn't hire somebody. I did it myself. And guess what? I'm not a website designer.
Right.
So it's it's USA only, but you can buy it all over the world on Amazon, and you can buy it all over the world from any bookshop. You just need the ISBN, and the ISBN is on the website as well, so people know how to get it if they live in another country.
I want a signed copy.
Absolutely. I'll give you one.
I have a PDF, so I don't have a sign. I want a signed copy from you.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I have a book right here.
Yes.
And I'll send this one to you. How's that?
Yeah. I'll send you my address. Folks, Terri Chrisman, you have to come back. You have to come back again. You are just a joy and delight, and
thank you.
And you're of service. You're helping people. You're trying to help people out.
Yeah, that's my main thing. I just the pain and suffering I went through losing my dad at such a young age. It's been 33 years, James, and my heart is still broken.
I believe it. Yep, I believe it.
And so, if I can stop one person from not having a heart attack, hello, I've done my job, right? But I don't want to stop one person from having a heart attack. I want to stop millions of people from having a heart attack.
Yes, I do too. That's why we're here. A lot of help.com is my website. And you are fabuloushealth.net, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Fabuloushealth.net. Yeah.
Yes. And you're also on YouTube, right? YouTube.
Yeah, Fabulous Health TLC. All my bits and bobs are on fabuloushealth.net. I figured, you know what, you get one URL, people will remember that. And then, or if they want to check me out on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, all the buttons are there, right? So they can just like click the button and they don't have to remember anything. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Said bits and bobs. I love that phrase. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I can see you talk all day, although Australian talk all day long. Because I don't have an accent, right? I'm just kidding. I don't have an accent. I'm from LA. I have no accent. No, so everybody thank Terri Chrisman for being on the show, of course. If you're listening and
thank you.
If you're afraid to talk to her yourself, you can always come to me and I'll introduce you guys online if that's something if you have questions for or thoughts or concerns or whatever. I'm sure she'll converse with you with respect, of course, folks. Respect her as you do this. And I mean, health is what we have, right? Health is the biggest commodity we have.
Mm-hmm.
Not money, not this.
Yep.
It is health. And when your health is not good, everything's not good.
That's right. Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly. And for those of us who are parents and grandparents ourselves, we owe it to our kids and grandkids and some of us great grandkids to be there for them and also lead as an example. Lead as an example when it comes to health measures. And again, no shame, no stigma. We all make mistakes. We all live lives. Things happen. But as long as you wake up, you always have a chance. I'm James Lott Jr. We'll see you next Tuesday.